welcome to another episode of Chatty Broads with Becca and Jess.
So, Broads.
Hey, Broads.
We promised a special guest.
We did.
And we're here to deliver. And apparently, ABC and Warner Bros. Is here to deliver as well because we actually got a guest
Yay!
from The Bachelor.
Not
from
just
the current season.
Not just a guest. Our favorite.
Not just any guest.
Of Listen to Your Heart. You obviously know who we're talking about. Fan favorite. Our favorite. All of your favorites.
Julia. Just kidding.
Already starting with the shade. It's Ryan. Hi, Ryan.
What's up, Broads? Thank you so much for having me. This has been an incredible 6 weeks. You guys have been more than gracious, and it's just been overwhelming, the support that you've shown me. So I am just very nervous, to be honest. I woke up this morning, I'm like, damn, I'm on the cast. Like, this is crazy.
Have you done any interviews yet?
I've done a few, yeah, but this is, nothing compares to this. I'll be honest. Like, this is crazy.
You're already earning so many points. So we brought you on.
Keep going.
We brought you on to tell you that we were lying the whole time. You were our least favorite. So this is just me a shade fest.
No, you're a pretty likable person, so I don't think it's hard to. I don't know. You didn't have any kind of bad edit on the show, but I also have a feeling that you weren't really being a bad person on the show, so that helps.
Well, I was acting the whole time. So.
You knew the moves to pull to win America's hearts for sure.
This is actually for your influencer career all along. You're not even a musician.
I'm not. Yeah, no. But yeah, it was just like, it was such a bizarre scenario to be called upon to do. And it came out of nowhere. I was like, why not? And I figured if I was just myself the whole time, maybe it might come off as boring in some ways, but I'm just gonna do me and see what happens. And that's what I did.
Okay, so how did this opportunity come about? Did you go to a casting? Did someone nominate you? What happened with that?
So last year, I got a random comment on one of my Instagram videos, and it was just like, hey, we're casting for a new show for ABC next year. We think you'd be a great fit. And that was it. And I thought it was kind of,
wow.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of BS off the bat, because you get a lot of just stupid stuff.
Yeah, you said an Instagram comment?
Yeah.
You're like, are you catfishing me right now?
And
what money do you want?
Yeah, exactly. So, I typed in the person's name, and this person had an IMDb, and I'm like, oh, okay. And he's worked on this show. So I'm like,
right.
Okay, checks out. So I'll follow up with the email. And then next thing you know, we had the first round of casting was in Chicago. It was the closest city to me. Met them up there, did the whole thing in this hotel room. It was cool. And halfway through it, they're like, hey, would you like to come out to LA? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what?
Sure.
I thought there was going to be like thousands of people lined up. I didn't know what the deal was, and pretty relaxed situation. Like, yeah, would you like to come out to LA? Of course. Went out to LA the next month, did another round of casting out there. After that, it went really well in LA. I felt like a really good energy in that room of, we talked to them for like an hour, we performed for them. And then next thing you know, a month after that, I got a call like, hey, would you like to be on Listen to Your Heart? I'm like, yeah, sure.
Okay, it's so crazy. My experience was very similar with The Bachelor. Like, it's crazy how casual it is. Like, when you talk to people about how the whole process from start to finish with casting, my experience is really similar, where it's just like, why don't you come out here and we'll talk about this? And then why don't we do this? And then call and so here's your packing list. And it's just like, it's kind of crazy it's so fast and casual what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, and it's funny how fast these producers become good friends.
100%.
Before I even really met them in person, just being in contact with the phone, it was just like, oh, hey, what's up? What are you doing? Like, real casual. And that was the thing that really put a sense of ease upon myself, because I had, I don't know anything Hollywood related. I don't know anything like that. So I was a little skeptical at first, but then having those relationships grow with the producers prior to going on the show, I'm like, oh, I feel in great hands. And all the way through, it was the same.
Okay, I'll stop making it about this topic in a second, but by any chance was Bill one of your producers, or was he on the show?
He was there. Yeah.
He was one of my favorite. He's the best.
He's great. Yeah.
Anyway,
have you ever auditioned, like, had you ever auditioned for like The Voice before or American Idol before? No, this was the first.
Yeah, I've never auditioned for anything. I just never, I don't know why. I've never looked down upon those shows or anything like that. It just didn't seem like the fit for me. So I don't know why this did. When it's like adds the hitting element, I'm like, like this does not seem like a show I would typically go on. And but it was just the most fun I've ever had. Honestly, it was so incredible. The people were just the cast, the crew. That's what made it for me. It would have really sucked if I went in the house and everyone was just like real pretentious, douchey, and it was complete opposite of that. So very good.
Yeah. How long were you guys filming for? Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say you had the dopest mansion set up too. Like you guys got the top notch.
Yeah. A-list treatment.
Yeah, and I'm very much like Matt in terms of not seeing the show before. So I of course everyone's familiar with the show. I mean, it's American folklore at this point. So like but just walking up those steps and just seeing this place, and I knew it was different than the original one because I've seen clips and things, but yeah, it was just unbelievable. And that backyard is just massive, and it
looked dope. Like where you guys were at, that was pretty sweet pad for sure.
Yeah, just so much space, and the valley, and the like mountains were lit up every night, and I guess that's just every night. It wasn't just for the show. That's really cool.
So how long were you guys filming for?
Roughly a month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, similar to The Bachelor. I was really curious about the timeline with all of that.
Yeah.
Who was the person who you connected with right off the bat, like cast-wise?
Well, I mean, I think the obvious answer would be Jamie, just because we walked together and we had some time before people showed up. So that was great. But I would say generally as like a hang, Matt.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so funny because we don't sometimes see, it's the same with The Bachelor. I think we don't always see these like friendships that are kind of the real solid friendships that are going on behind the scenes. And I don't feel like we saw very much of that on the show.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. There was a lot of, we did so much just like jamming, and just, we'd have coffee every morning and jam for like 2 hours by the table outside and just pass along, like, each one would take a verse, and we'd do like 90s and 2000s hip hop, and we'd just go crazy. And then at nighttime we'd have these piano sessions where we just all sing and play instruments, and that was really a good part of like the camaraderie and team building aspect of it. And that's what I enjoyed mostly.
So how long have you been doing music, and like how'd you get started, that whole background? Have you been pursuing a professional music career before going on the show, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so I started playing guitar when I was 13, and that because I watched the movie The School of Rock, I was like, okay, gotta do that. So yeah. So after watching that movie and seeing my best friend, he got a guitar for Christmas. I was like, okay, well this seems cool. So I started practicing a lot, and then maybe like around college, I started writing songs and kind of doing the coffee shop scene, and then just picked up piano and bass along the way. I moved to Nashville for about 1.5 years, and then just kind of, I liked it, but it wasn't really for me. So I moved back, and was kind of confused about the next step, because going back to Michigan, I was like, it's not like the biggest music scene, but it definitely has like its thing going on. So I'm like, all right, I just got to regroup. And then that's when I did the whole like Nova Scotia trip. I wanted to do like a Bon Iver, like go in the woods by myself and just make something.
Yeah.
And so I was just kind of looking around on the Airbnb map, like where can I rent? What's the deal?
When was this?
This was the tail end of the summer, like 2016.
Okay.
So I was like, what can I do for like a month? And I was looking at Michigan. Everything was just super expensive for the summer, because that's like the ideal time to be in Michigan. And all the cottages up north And so I was like, well, this isn't happening. So I kept moving around the map. And then I saw this little plot of land out in the Atlantic Ocean. I'm like, what is that? And so it ended up being Nova Scotia. And I took all my studio, I moved all my gear in my car, drove it like 20 hours, took a ferry across from Maine, or I guess it'd be New Brunswick, to Nova Scotia, stayed there. I was planning on staying there for a month. And what happened was the owners were living in Costa Rica at the time. And so they called me. They're like, hey, we're going to need to fix the roof while you're there. I'm like, what? Why not? Like give me some time. And so they're like, no, it has to be done now. I'm like, okay, cool. But luckily enough, the house was big enough. They had like this guest quarters. And so the guy, his name was Jean-Marc. He's from France. He came and stayed with me. And I thought it was going to be like a week and a half. I was looking up like, how long does it take to fix
This is the roofing guy that's staying with you?
This is the owner of the house.
The owner of the house.
Okay.
And is he fixing the roof? I'm so confused.
Yes, he is.
So you guys are officially
He's
roommates
fixing the
now.
roof.
He's
Okay.
fixing the roof while you are writing music. Okay.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, if you saw a picture of the place, it would make sense. Like it was a pretty big spot. And so anyways, he's staying.
You said you were Googling like how long it takes to fix a roof.
Yeah.
How fucking long is this guy going to be here?
Right.
Yeah.
The average was like, oh, you could do a whole roof in like 4 or 5 days. I'm like, okay, cool.
Jean-Marc really liked you. He's just like, I don't want to leave.
So yeah, so what happened? It was him and his father-in-law, who was like, close to 80 at the time. And this guy, he built the house. It took him like 20 years to build this place. It's like this huge fishing cabin from the 20s, and they rebuilt it. It's gorgeous. And so anyways, long story short, he stays for 6 weeks.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, okay. But he was very kind. Like we went
Wait,
fishing.
so how long were you planning on staying there at that point? Because I thought you were only supposed to be there a month.
A month, yeah. So obviously we're talking this whole time. He's like, yeah, like feel free to stay longer. And they reached out. His wife, she sends me a message. She's like, hey, for all your trouble, like we'll tack on another 2 months for free. I'm like, dope.
He'll be there the whole time, but
No.
enjoy.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. He was
He
only
was
there
only there
for
for the
another...
6 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I was there for like 12 weeks, 3 months.
Wow.
It was unreal. I was just by myself, like in the middle of this forest on this pretty big lake, like 10 minutes from the ocean, and nobody bothered me. It was really dope.
Apologies, while you're telling this, I'm like trying to pick something off my tongue. I got nail glue. I was trying to bite open this nail glue container, and I got nail glue on my tongue and tooth. So I'm just, while I'm doing this, I am fully into your story. So during that time, was this like a super, did you get like close with this guy? Because you said he ended up,
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's part of this story. And then also, did you have like this breakthrough musical development during these 12 weeks in this cottage?
Both, yes. So I'll take the dude Jean-Marc. We would just like kick it every night. We'd make bonfires. He'd teach me how to, like fish, and we'd do all this crazy stuff together. And we'd hang out and look for UFOs at night. And it was just, it was a good time. He was a great dude. And then, but yeah. So musically, that's where I learned like production. So I was reading books on it. I was watching tutorials. I was just spending 12 hours a day just on my computer, like with my studio set up in this big room, and just learning how everything works. And that's, if I didn't have those 3 months, there's no way I would be kind of where I'm at today. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity to do that. And that family, like I'm eternally grateful for them, because they hooked it up. Because if you would divide the amount of days I was there price wise, it would be like a roach infested motel cheap. It would be like 20 right? Palace. It was
Wow.
Palace. Yeah. So
They tacked on I know, that's insane. They tacked on 2 months.
well, it was a very rural area. So I think they were just happy that people were paying the bills and taking care of it while they were gone.
Yeah.
So
And then obviously Jean-Marc loved you. So add that to it. Broads. In a moment, we'll go right back to our beloved Ryan. But first, we have to talk about something else that is quite beloved to us. It is liquid IV. If you've ever experienced dehydration, well, congratulations, you're human. 3 out of 4 people are dehydrated every day. That's crazy. And if you're one of them, you've probably experienced the not so fun side effects like brain fog, muscle fatigue, headaches for myself. For years, I thought that there was something wrong with me. Turns out my headaches were because I was dehydrated. But staying hydrated on water alone means you have to drink 8 full glasses a day, which can be extremely challenging. That's why Liquid IV is your best bet for getting all the hydration your body needs, no matter how busy your days may be. Liquid IV is really the most effective way to boost your hydration levels. 1 serving of Liquid IV provides the same hydration as drinking 2 to 3 bottles of water. 1 serving equals 2 to 3 bottles of water. Liquid IV has been saving me lately from my dehydration. You will find Liquid IV all around my home in my bags. I am so grateful for them. And on top of staying hydrated, Liquid IV has the added bonus of containing 5 essential vitamins. Vitamin C, B3, B5, B6, and B12. It has more vitamin C than an orange and has as much potassium as a banana, all of which is optimized in your body through cellular transport technology. So fancy. Long story short, this stuff keeps your body functioning at its peak more quickly and effectively than just water alone. Liquid IV is available nationwide at Target, Whole Foods, and Costco, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code chatty at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order, and they have a lot of great stuff when you use promo code chatty at liquidiv.com. Get better hydration today at liquidiv.com, promo code chatty, and again, you can also find them nationwide, Target, Whole Foods, or Costco. Oh, honey, I'm excited to talk to you about this next sponsor. Online shopping is, in my opinion, one of the greatest things ever. There's virtually nothing you could ever want that you can't have delivered to your door, and especially right now, are you kidding me? But what's even better than online shopping? Saving money while online shopping. Now, thanks to Honey, saving money and online shopping are one and the same. Honey is the free, I'll say it again, it's the free online shopping tool that saves you money while you online shop. And it's so easy to use. Anytime you're shopping online at one of your favorite stores, when you get to the checkout, a little box will drop down, and all you need to do is hit apply coupons. Wait for a few seconds while Honey scans every promo code on the internet and watch the prices drop. Honey takes care of everything. All you have to do is let it save you that money, honey. Honey supports over 30,000 stores like Target, Best Buy, Macy's, and they're adding more stores every single day. The other week, I was shopping on Sephora. I'm really enjoying the makeup these days. Applying it every day is kind of giving me some normalcy. Anyways, I was at checkout after adding all the pretty things, probably a little too much, but I let Honey do its thing, and I ended up saving almost $20. $20 that I just didn't know that I could save. Ugh, Honey's become my new best friend. That's basically free money, and trust me when I say there is no better surprise than free money. Not using Honey is literally passing up free money. It's free to use and installs in just a few seconds. Plus, it's backed by PayPal, so you know you can trust it. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/chatty. That's joinhoney.com/chatty. So then that's where you learned all like your production skills. Because here's the thing, Ryan, when we first decided we're going to recap Listen to Your Heart, I was assuming it would probably be a lot of just like singers, right?
Singers. Yeah. Or singer-songwriter.
Right. And then the very first episode with you, it was like, okay, he's super cute. He seems nice. And then as soon as you went into the studio with Jamie, that was when Becca and I were like, oh shit, you knew everyone who was working in there, like by name. And then watching you throughout the process, it's like, oh, you're clearly like producer, songwriter, like just consummate artist. Was that something that were most all the castmates on the show like that? Or was it just kind of a mix of some mostly like singer-songwriters and then other producers?
Yeah, I think it was such a good mix because you had people like, Becca, for instance, who was a musical theater girl. And she's like never performed pop music or sang pop music really at all. So, you had her, and then you have like, a girl like Ruby, who is a prodigy violin player since the age of 2. And she's toured with Willie Nelson and she played with Lady Gaga. Like,
what?
Remember, Becca, I sent you that like video of her?
Yes.
I was like, holy shit, this girl's amazing.
She's insane. She's insane. So yeah, it was just all over the map. I mean, you had people who just started like a couple years ago, and then you had people, just it was a very good mix.
Wow, that's really interesting. So then after that, from like around 2016 to now, had you been full-time pursuing your musical career? Have you been what do you do otherwise?
Yeah, so since I moved back, I was working for an ophthalmologist, an eye doctor, and I would basically take pictures behind. It was like eye photography in a way. You'd work these lasers and you take pictures behind people's eyes for glaucoma, macular degeneration.
Are you one
like
of the
that.
ones who did the puffs in my eyes? Because
it's funny. Everybody asks that, and they haven't done that in our clinic for like 10 years.
Oh, God bless, because I love going to my eye doctor because I need it, but those puffs scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, everybody asks that, but no, I've never done that.
And then where were you taking your, I mean, I guess I should have done more research, but like, have you been releasing music, or like, are you working in the studio at all, or doing any kind of production, or like, what were you doing up until Listen to Your Heart in terms of music?
Yeah, so in terms of music, I would, work from like 8 to 4. I'd go home and I'd nap, and I'd wake up and either work on music or gig at night. So that's been kind of my life for a while. Collaborate with others, produce my own stuff. I put out my EP last year, and then just kind of consistently working on new stuff. Yeah, it's just kind of, I'm literally in this room that you see like 90% of my life. So
when we first started the episode, Becca asked if Ryan's studio, if you're watching on YouTube Broads, she was asking if Ryan's studio was like a green screen. Because it looks
for
so
some
like
reason there's something about your lighting of you look like you're in a Zoom filter with that in the background. I love the idea though that it actually is, and you're just lying to us. You're like, yeah, no, this is I'm a musician.
I think it's just very poor lighting. So the lights up here, the little string Christmas lights aren't in focus. And so it looks a little cheesy, but it's real.
No, it looks lovely. It just looks like
it looks great.
You're just trying to trick us. You're like secretly not a musician. You're like, yeah, this is my background.
Trying to flex.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you can answer this or not, but did you know there was going to be the love aspect going into the show?
I did.
Okay. Because we've heard mixed things.
We've heard
from
mixed,
from other friends of friends kind of thing.
Yeah, now it wasn't like overly like
wasn't explicit
to fall in love by any means.
Right.
And so that kind of gave me a little bit sense of ease. It was like, hey, there's going to be music. There's going to be obviously relationships going on.
There's going to be music. There's going to be love.
There's going to be sex.
You're going to be listening to your heart.
Yeah. So, but they definitely kept it very vague. They didn't give us like, this is how it's going to work. I literally walked up to the mansion that night like, what the fuck am I getting into?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Well, it's season 1 too. I'm sure that probably a lot of production is kind of like, let's see what happens and what people's chemistry is like and see what sticks to the wall kind of thing.
There was a lot of, you could sense that there was a lot of like, let's try it. Like from the producers and stuff, like, hey, sounds good. Let's do it.
Well, I thought that was hilarious how Matt and Rudy, one of them said on another podcast that like they just literally asked to pull over when they were in their tour bus and like, oh, can we stay the night at a hotel? And it was like, sure.
Yes, and as a bachelor watcher, if you would be watching the season to season, you'd know it's like, no, it's a designated fantasy suite. Yeah.
As a Bachelor contestant, because Jess asked me, she's like, you think they just asked? And I was like, no, there's no way in hell. Like but I think it's just, I mean, that's kind of fun about doing season 1 of this show. It's kind of like let's see what happens.
Yeah, and I think with that, I don't want to like overstep my bounds, but it was something where I'm sure they were like asking before and like weren't getting a yes. So
sure.
I don't know if they're like, hey, this is a perfect opportunity, or maybe they're just like, hey, let's let them have it. Like,
Sure.
Yeah, that's true, because they hadn't had a date yet, huh? So it was kind of like, hey, let them have. Let him have a moment.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of which, I was going to say, can we talk about the couples, like who's still together and sort of what happened? Jess and I noticed that throughout the season and even kind of up until the finale, it's very sort of vague about where couples are at now. Mm-hmm. And so we want to chat, and maybe you can help us confirm, or if it's fine with them, who's still together and who's not. Now, Rudy and Matt, they're not still together, right? That's the vibe I got from their posts, I guess.
So here's the thing. I have a group text with 5 people, and it's all men, and we don't talk about like, hey, how you guys doing? It's like we send each other funny shit.
It's just memes.
So I talk to Rudy and Matt all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, we're cool. Like I don't think it's okay. I don't think like they talk all the time, and I think they're making music together. So that's a great sign. But
it seems like that was the outcome of a lot. I think most of the couples besides Bree and Chris are are Trevor and Jamie still together?
No.
They're not. Okay, now I'm just talking to Jess. Sorry, Ryan, but Jess, maybe you could tell us,
well, I just
according to the IGs.
I actually got my info from an article that Ryan was in, and everyone was talking about, you know, where their relationships are at, and I saw that, you know, it was like Matt and Rudy are like, we're talking, but it's not there's nothing official.
Yeah.
Bree and Chris obviously still very much in love and together. Trevor and Jamie are not together, but there's no like malice.
Okay.
And
I want to know what happened. I want to know when
I know,
they
obviously
ended.
want the details, but then
okay, so they're not together though.
No.
I guess not. Yeah.
No. But what about you, Ryan?
Yes, spill the deets.
Give us all the details.
So it's basically in the article, like we left, Natascha and I, unfortunately, our scenes were very brief, and I don't think you got a real indication of like how we interacted stage.
Yeah.
But we had such a great chemistry, and we just had such a blast together. So when we got kicked off, it was very difficult. And so, you know, we both went back in our SUVs, and it was tough on both of us. And it was like, oh, now it's over. She goes back to LA. I go back to Detroit. It happens now. And then 2 weeks later, COVID happens. And it's like, you know, I was planning on going out to LA.
Wait, sorry. So the filming was earlier this year. Filming was in 2020.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So it was, not too long ago. And then we were obviously talking a lot right after the show and just catching up. And we're like, hey, we'd love to see each other. Like, when can we do this? And for myself, I just needed like a little bit of breathing time, because I came back with, I've never experienced this feeling before, but I was like PTSD tripping. Like it was the strange, I would wake up in the middle of the night and actually go and I've never done this in my life, and go and like dress myself because I thought I was going into an interview. I would wake up multiple times in the middle of the night, and like, it was weird.
I remember I was getting in the car and something caught on my seatbelt to get in my car, and I thought that the mic was getting caught on something. And I remember being like, my mic's caught on something, and then I was like, I don't have a mic on. Like, it's real. I really don't think anyone can understand what the experience is like until you go through it. It's so weird. And it's such a transition after going back into normal life.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it is, but it's just it's like, where's my mic pack? Where are the camera guys? Like, I was missing them. I went from like it sucks that these guys are right here, like right in my face, but now I'm like, oh, I kind of miss them. Like, I feel lonely. Yeah.
No phone to phone again.
Yeah, and
after 4 or 5 weeks,
and I think crazy. That's what people underestimate from, just seeing the show. You can make some really intense connections in such a short time, because you're with somebody 18 hours a day potentially, because you're not sleeping. I don't know about you. Like, I didn't sleep well at all. And so you're up all the time, and no phones, no source of outside communication. So it's like you're forced to communicate. And I know some of these people on a deeper emotional level than some of my best friends. It's nuts.
Oh, yeah.
So, Yeah, but I had a tough time for like a week and a half right after we came back, and then COVID happened, and was like, oh, well, I guess we're just FaceTiming a lot, talking and making music now. So it's
cool.
All good on our front.
Yeah, and it seemed on the show like you guys were on the same page in terms of like, it didn't seem like there was any imbalance in terms of like, I'm falling head over heels in love with you, and the other person being like, yeah. It just seemed like you guys were on the same page in terms of like levels of commitment and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think like what you didn't see is like we kind of snuck away and like signed a pact in blood. We're like, let's do this. You know what I mean? No, but it's funny. It's funny.
We're like, we knew it. We knew it the whole time.
It's just funny, like people, you know, it makes sense because of what was shown, but like that wasn't the case at all. We truly still care about each other, and we had such a great connection on and off stage, and but we were just focused. Like right when we connected, we're like, let's do this. Let's try to put on the best performances that we can, because you know, you always want to bring it. You want to give 100%, and we didn't know what the other couples would do. So we're like, well, let's just shoot for the moon on each performance and see what happens. Like a couple times it worked. One time it drastically failed. So, you know.
Was there a sense of kind of intense competition that we maybe didn't see on the show between the couples in terms of performing? Was there more of that tension, or was it everyone just kind of trying to play it cool, like we're all friends kind of thing?
Yeah. You know, I would like to say that it was intense, but everyone, at least on the outside, was like very supportive. And, you know, because you'd hear everybody going over their songs in different sections of the house. You'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you know, going over stuff, and maybe you should do this here, blah, blah, blah. But it was very supportive from everybody in the cast, and there was no like devious stuff that we saw. So
was it strange to watch it then afterwards when you're seeing people in their confessional booths revealing certain things, and you're like, oh shit, I thought that everything was like good to go?
Yeah. That was the part I was really looking forward to the most, because it's like, Becca, you know this, you're only living your life on the show. You don't see what anyone else is saying in these confessionals. And it's like, I don't remember what I said 3 hours ago, much less 3 months ago. So I was looking forward to seeing what I said.
Totally.
Much less the other people. And that definitely changed a little bit how I viewed people, I would say. But, you know, it's hard to take these little clips, and everyone was very nice to me, and I tried to be the same to them. So I didn't have any issues with anybody on the show per se.
I want to know what the hell happened with that performance when you guys left. What was that, a mic stand? What can you just tell us what actually happened?
Yeah. I think you know, we've Natascha and I think she's cool with me saying this, but you know, we got up on stage and we like crushed it in sound check, and it was sounding so good, and we were very confident going into that, because we obviously did a 180. We flipped it completely, and like, okay, this is gonna be cool. And like right after we started singing, then we kind of broke into that like Latin salsa vibe, and the crowd was getting into it. We're like, okay, cool, like it's working. And then I think I kind of like blacked out after it happened. So I think either she just did not sing the pre-chorus or something, and then so I was like just like standing there like shit, and then that caused me to be like, okay, do I follow what she's doing, or do I try to like anticipate the next coming up? So I was in a different state the 40 seconds in.
Yeah, so, you're like you can't even like
I'm
recall.
Sure you both.
Yeah,
I'm sure you both were. It's just like,
oh, and then you know, I think we were singing the pre-chorus, and we were supposed to sing the chorus, and it was such a mess. And then she handed me the mic. I'm like, oh my god, what? and then Matt, it was funny. We got off stage, and Matt's like, dude, you're fucking playing the guitar with your microphone. I'm like, was I?
Yeah, you're like, yeah, oh no. It's like when all of a sudden that adrenaline is like, oh shit, what's going on? Like you don't even have a concept of like what's happening in the moment.
I don't remember walking out on that little catwalk thing. I was like, okay, please just don't fall, because it was very skinny. It wasn't like
oh god.
Like and the crowd was right there, like right on it. And I was like, as long as I don't fall, I'll be good. I don't remember even playing guitar out there. I was like, this my career is over. Like people see this, they're like, this guy's a joke. Like this
oh
sucks.
my gosh.
Was that rough to watch back? I don't think it. I mean, I don't think it actually like looked that bad.
No.
I think it was just hard to watch because of how obvious it was that something was going wrong, like not what was planned.
I was, let's just say, I was not looking forward to watching it, to say the least. But when I did watch it, I was like, I think they helped us out a bit in terms of what they did show, because if they showed the full performance, awkward city.
Oh, so you think that they didn't make it look as bad?
No. Yes, there were some like pauses in there, and then I think if you cut to the band, I think they were looking like Ryan, the drummer. I think he was like,
oh no.
So it was just
because I wasn't sure, because like, again, obviously, like Becca was saying, you're like, okay, something's going wrong, but you guys, you know, were like so bummed afterwards that part of me was like, did we miss something? Or also, clearly you two are like incredible professionals that I'm like, oh, they're just going to be really hard on themselves because, you know, this is like their superior craft. So but I'm okay if they didn't
granted,
show it quite.
I was going to say, granted, we were seeing the other reactions from the other contestants too, that are kind of backstage like, what's happening?
And I got off stage. It was just like so bad. It was laughable. I was just like cracking up. I was like, well, I'll see you guys on the outside, like catch you later, you know, like when I was being interviewed, because I knew there was no way that.
Okay, but here's the thing, Ryan, and this was our biggest beef the whole time. Were you not frustrated that you weren't getting the same judges, or at least two of the same judges,
even one judge
every week? Because let's be honest, you guys had one misperformance. Other than that, you guys were crushed every single time. Was there that frustration? They're like, oh my God, if we would have a judge that had been seeing us the past, 3 performances, we'd have a chance right now.
Yeah, Jess, and like you brought up last episode with Chris and Bree, it's like if we had 1 or 2 of the same judges, it might be like, this feels like the same thing we've seen like the past 3 weeks.
Right,
like,
or even
in
just
terms of
or growth. Like, hey,
right.
I noticed that you're doing better, and wants us to keep you on. Like
Trevor and Jamie, making leaps and bounds from week 1, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess in hindsight, it would be nice, but at the same time, it's like, this is a competition, and like you're only as good as your latest song, performance, whatever. So I think you just gotta bring it, and we didn't, and rightfully so. We got sent home. So
you're not nearly as bitter as I am.
No.
Well, do you know what now? Like, so for Chris and Bree, what was the thing you could win at the end? All I remember is the tour, and obviously now that's not happening. So like, what did the winners get?
Yeah, so they got to go on tour, but obviously, like you said, that's going to be postponed, and they got to make a record with like a notable producer. And so
that's dope.
They just dropped that yesterday, and it's really good. It's called Chris and Bree, and I
need to check it out.
It's five of the covers they did all the way through, and then 5 originals. So it's a 10-song album. It's actually really good.
Cool.
And I wasn't surprised at all. But yeah, the originals are really dope too.
So, question for you: before Listen to Your Heart and all this, in school, I need history of you. Were you like, so you started playing the guitar when you were like, what do you say, when you were in
13.
Junior high? 13? Okay.
Yeah.
In high school, were you like the cute musician that all the girls liked? Or were you like kind of band by your, like doing your thing?
Though, Jess, he's going to say he wasn't the cute musician, even if he actually was. He's nodding his head no. This isn't going to be a straight answer. It could be true or not. We really don't know.
No, so this was the thing. I was in sports all my life.
Oh, okay.
Even through high school. So that kind of threshold is like, once I started playing music, sports went down, music went up. So all throughout high school, people probably knew me for like playing basketball and stuff like that. So I would play, we'd have like, talent shows and stuff, but not too many people knew that I played music, to be honest. So there was none of that. I started really performing and playing solo shows, and like I mentioned to you, Jess, like coffee shop stuff when I was like 18, 19, like college. So yeah, there was none of that in high school. And I think what really helped, oddly enough, is I had like pretty chronic acne for like 10 years. And this is a weird segue, but from like 12 to 22, I had that, and it was like a self-esteem, obviously crushed, like, cause it's not fun.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Been there.
And so I would just go home.
And boys don't have, I mean, they can wear makeup, but it's not really like girls. It's like you can't really hide it very well either. It sucks.
Exactly. So I would go home and just like play guitar for hours and just try to get better, because that was like my safe space, because I didn't want to go out. Like, I'd go out with my friends. I'm not going to lie and say I'm a shut-in, but like very much so was just focused on music, because I felt awkward in a way for like a long time. So that was kind of my experience.
It was your solace.
It was, yeah.
Hey, broads, have to pause for one quick second. If you're looking for a fun way to pass the time right now, which, let's be honest, most of us are, you may feel like you're running out of good options. I personally feel like I visited every single corner of the internet and made every kid's craft known to mankind and baked enough cookies to satisfy a lifetime of sugar cravings, and I'm exhausted of all of them. They were once exciting, and now they're not so much exciting anymore. But one thing I will never get tired of playing is Best Fiends. It's the perfect mental break. It really is, and its setup is super casual. You can spend as much or as little time playing as you want. The best part is it doesn't require any internet or cell service to play. So it's perfect for, say, an unexpected line to get into in the grocery store, or when you're waiting for your 1,000,000th Zoom call of the day to start. I swear I spend more time waiting for Zoom meetings to start than I spend in the actual meeting. So I have Best Fiends right there ready for me to help pass the time. It's fantastic. And no matter if you find yourself playing Best Fiends a lot or a little, they update the game monthly with new levels. So you'll never get bored, because you better believe Mama's zipping through some of these levels lately. The little creatures are too cute. I can't help it. I just want to play it constantly these days, okay? So engage your brain with fun puzzles and collect tons of cute characters. Trust me, with over 100 million downloads, 100 million, this 5-star rated mobile puzzle game is a must play. Listen, if you got over 100 million downloads and it's still 5-star rated, I think you can say it's pretty good. So download Best Fiends for free on the Apple App Store or Google Play. That's friends without the R, Best Fiends. Download it on the Apple App Store or Google Play, and enjoy, broads. Back to the episode.
Oh, also, what sign are you?
So many people have been asking me this, and I've not told a soul, but I guess
T? Oh. Oh.
I am. What do you guys think I am? Do you have like? I'm not super into this.
Oh, this is fun.
Oh, okay.
Wait, do you know, is this your sun sign? Or do you also know like your moon and your rising? Are we getting into
any
this?
of that?
This is just one of the 12.
Well, okay.
I don't know.
So that's your sun sign.
Okay, just the birthday. Yeah.
Okay.
Jess, let's discuss. Let's have 3 guesses and let's decide on the 3 together.
Okay. Oh, I like this.
My initial thought.
Yes. I think Virgo's an option.
Oh, really? That did not come to mind. I thought Libra or Taurus, honestly, were actually the 2 that I thought.
Oh, interesting. Definitely.
And maybe Capricorn. Those were like the 3 that came to mind for me.
Okay.
No, wait. Maybe Sag is actually one of them.
I think I would say either Virgo, Libra, or Cancer.
Okay.
No. Wait, maybe Cancer. I don't think Virgo.
Okay. Brian, I'm so excited.
I'm gonna say Cancer, Libra, Sag.
Okay.
Those are my guesses.
I'm none of any of those.
Damn it! Our astrology knowledge just failed us.
We know nothing. Are you Pisces?
Yeah.
Yes! That just came to mind before he said it.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I knew it all along. And I forgot about that one, and when I thought of it, I was like, I bet he's Pisces. Mm-hmm.
You're Pisces.
Are you the end of February?
No, I'm the tail end of
Oh.
Okay.
Never mind. I don't know shit. So when's your birthday?
March 20th. So I am the very last day of the calendar. On the New Year's Eve.
Okay.
Which I just found out last year. I had no idea. They're like, oh yeah, you're like the New Year's Eve of the signs. I'm like, oh, that's dope.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that means you're right on the, what is it on the cusp of Aries?
Aries, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
All right,
I'm
Pisces.
gonna get so much shit now. I'm gonna get so much shit in my chat. Oh my God.
Why would you get shit?
Because so many people have been asking. I don't know why I wanted to avoid it, but it was just like,
But Ryan, it's Becca and I. We've been with you this whole
is a
time.
safe place.
It's a safe
This is a safe place.
That's what you can tell them.
no, you
Blame
guys
it on us.
deserve it more than anybody.
Okay, let's hit him with some, Jess, I feel like we should hit him with some like hard and fast questions. Almost like speed dating questions.
Okay, love it. Last serious relationship.
Last serious relationship. When it ended, like I had 2 years.
Yeah, like for how long and how recent?
Tell us her first, middle, and last name, her birthday, social security number if you have it.
What is her
and
Instagram handle?
Yes.
Yeah. So my last serious relationship was for 2 years, pretty much almost exactly 2 years, and that ended basically a year and a half ago. It was like last January.
Okay.
So
you've been single for a while.
Yeah.
Do you tend to date musicians?
I've never dated a musician.
Do you prefer it that way?
I like it. It's cool to be able to share, what you do with somebody. That's cool. I mean, I'm not like pro musician, pro anti-musician. I'm very open. So I wasn't going on this show like, oh my God, if I don't find somebody, my heart's going to be broken. And, so I was just very open to it. And, but luckily like Natascha is just, we seem so opposite, I feel like. And that's what most people say, but it's like, we just locked in and we're more alike than people think.
Well, she's a goddess and we worship her. So obviously.
Yeah.
She's so funny though, because she totally came in with that like Real Housewives energy kind of thing. And when you first see those couple scenes together, it's really funny. It's like, I was just cracking up because you're like, I don't feel like I'm your type. And I just thought that was like the funniest line ever. But then it did seem like you guys were really vibing as the time went on. But that initial kind of like impression of her and impression of your dynamics was very like, it didn't seem to fit.
Yeah, and I told her that, and I told we obviously do interviews a lot, so they're like, what do you think about this Natascha girl that just walked in? I'm like, not my type. Like, she's beautiful, but not for me. And so like that was my vibe off the bat. This is right after this is the first week in, and so just coming off Jamie, I'm trying to figure stuff out, and she shows up. I remember we were in. I don't know if you guys remember, in the back of the house, there's like a covered kind of circular seating area in the back. So I'm sitting there hanging out with some people, and then you could just like feel the energy change. You knew something was about to go down. Like there was camera guys moving, and we're like what's going down, And so and then you just like see her out of the corner of your eye in this like bright white. She was just like glowing, and I was like, like something's going on. And she sits down, and the rest is history. That conversation happens, and yeah, that was the first moment where I'm like, okay, like now I feel like I'm on a show, because we were all kind of just like vibing, and then that was like, it was a very strange moment, because you felt just a sense of unease amongst the cast after she dropped that. And I remember Matt and I looking over at each other like, oh, kind of want to hide.
It's getting real for sure.
Yeah, that was the first moment where I'm like, okay, it's real. Like, we're doing this. So, but ever since then, it was like we were close.
What do you feel like you guys have in common?
I think just like obviously like a passion for music. We have very similar interests in genres and tastes, and I think where we're at in our career, even though like she's done a lot more kind of in the public eye, I think we understand each other musically. So there was that, of course. We're both attracted to one another, like that's no doubt. but it was also what I saw in her, which I've never seen in a woman that I've talked to, is just like this glaring confidence and just like, hey, I'm myself, and if you don't like it, like,
take it or leave it.
Exactly. So I love that, like, New York in her, like, just very no bullshit. Like, she'll tell me like it is, and I appreciate that. Because sometimes, a lot of times, I tend to keep things to myself, and you know, I'll get pissed, but it'll be like internally, and I won't necessarily tell the person how I'm feeling. I'll just like blow them off or something. So, yeah,
that's the Pisces in you, know?
Yeah, it must be. Yeah. So that, I mean, just the brutal honesty between one another. It was great to just be with somebody who's like, I had her back, she had mine, and it was just very positive.
Some of my favorite scenes were you two like having your kind of like moments where you were having like your little gossip together, and I'm like, that's what I would have wanted if I would have been in that house, is to just have like my person that I'd be like, oh my God, did you just see what happened? Because until towards the very end between Natascha and Julia, even though Natascha came in, you know, and the whole Jamie Trevor dynamic was going down, it was like you guys seemed like after that moment and you guys got together, everything was just coasting, and you were the listening ear to everyone. Do you feel in your life that people always come to you and dump their problems on you?
No, and I think that's funny how that was shown, because even in the last episode that I was in, like, Rudy was talking to me, I'm just like, yeah. all I said was yeah. I said yeah like 4 times, and I didn't say anything else. And it's funny because I did talk a lot on the show, and I goofed around and stuff, but you know, it was funny that that's kind of the role that I was, you know, given, which I'm fine with. It was funny, but yeah, the mirror to your thoughts. I've never said that in my life. I don't know where the hell that came from. I'm like, what? Like, I've never even heard that phrase in my life. Like, where did that come from? But
that could be the title of your next album.
I know, seriously.
Yeah.
It's already
okay, Jess, you're on for the next question.
Okay, so if there was a deal, well, let's start with this one. What's your favorite your favorite band or musician, if you had to choose one? I know that's an impossible question.
Pick a genre.
Oh, I mean, I could have picked a favorite musician. It was probably Stevie Wonder. Just like all time. I mean, obviously, like, genius, Motown, plays a million instruments, produces his own stuff, like, just ridiculous. So I would say he's my favorite all time. But genre wise, like, in the funk, R&B, pop, like jazz kind of idiom, just stuff that's kind of like mid-tempo. I mean, I should say hip hop. Hip hop is my favorite genre. But just kind of everything in there, kind of like.
Is there like a band or an artist that if you were on a date or dating someone and she said, this is my favorite, that it would be a deal breaker?
Oh, a deal breaker. Deal maker and deal breaker. I want to know those. Like, if you hear a girl say that this is her favorite, you love it and you hate it. Give me the 2.
Okay, if she said I'm really into do you guys know who Anderson .Paak is? Oh yeah.
Yes.
So that's if she said him, I'd be like, okay, let's get married.
Cool.
Yeah. Wife it up.
Yeah. People I don't like. I don't have like I don't know. This is such a hard question. Probably like if I only listen to country, or because I like country music. I don't actively listen to it. I respect it. But it's not something that I could deal with all the time.
Well, what if it was country where she was like Sturgill Simpson, Willie Nelson?
There you go.
That kind of.
But realistically, it wouldn't be. Like the Bud
Luke
Pipe.
Bryan.
Yeah. On loop, same song.
Yeah.
Because that can't be a thing. Listen, I am not an artist, and I remember I once broke up with someone because I was dropping him off at the airport, and Snow Patrol is like my heart. It just, all of their albums just like wreck me. I'm very emotionally connected to them. And I turned it on, and he was a big country guy, and I turned it on, and he asked if I was listening to Green Day, and I said, get out of my car. I just couldn't get past it. It was too much. Wow. It was too much.
No, there's no way I could be with somebody who has a completely different musical taste. There's just no way it could happen. Like being around the house with one another, just like vibing, there's no way.
See, the funny thing is I hear some musicians say the total opposite. I feel like I have some friends who are musicians who are like, I want someone who's either exactly on the exact same page or just, only listens to, I don't know, I can't think of any good examples. Like I only listens to top 20 hits pop all the time. It's either like all or absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and I think for me, the fun part in a relationship when you share a musical bond, it's like going to shows together and wanting to go.
Oh yeah, totally.
Artist shows, like that's very exciting to me. So if it was all like yeah, I'll tag along, like whatever, I would hate that.
Yeah. Or if every time you went with her, it was just like dreading because it was just the same Luke Bryan concert every time.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one. If there's any artist that you could, okay, and then I guess we should steer away from music because I feel like this is maybe only fun for a portion of our audience. If there's any artist or musician that you could be featured on their album, who would you choose?
I would either say Anderson .Paak or do you know who Alan Stone is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're actually Becca, one of our dear friends, Tyler Cameron.
No, I know.
Yeah, one of our dear friends is in his band.
Tyler Cameron. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the guitar player.
Yeah, Tyler Carroll, the bass player.
Not Tyler Cameron.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, that's dope.
Not Tyler Cameron.
Not one of our dear friends, Tyler Cameron.
No, Tyler
Bachelor
Carroll.
royalty. Yeah, one of our dear friends is in. Yeah, Alan Stone. He's incredible.
Yeah, just next level talent. I've loved him for such a long time, and yeah, so one of those two guys.
I would go with I would definitely think of the most famous person I possibly could, and then say that as my answer, merely for
clout,
to elevate myself as an artist.
Oh, speaking of elevating yourself, right? What has the experience been? Because I remember when the season first started, how many followers did you have? Like a little over 1,000, something like that?
I think so. The week leading up to the show, like once I could post the picture of me being on the show, I think that capped out at like 1,100. But before that, I had like 800.
Okay. And now you're at like almost 100K. Yes?
Yeah, something I think it was like 102 this morning.
Oh, you passed it. Congratulations.
Wow, it is 102. It is 102.
Yeah.
Damn, past those triple digits. What's that been like?
Oh my God, completely overwhelming. It was like over the course of a few hours from that first episode, it literally went from like 1,100 to like 23,000 in 3 hours.
Wow.
And I, to be honest, I think that first episode for me, I don't think they could have put me in a better light. I was the second person in the house, first male.
Yeah.
I got to do the first date, which was arguably to me like one of the dopest dates on the show. I got to not only sing, they showed me playing guitar and piano. So it was like a full Ryan experience.
That's true.
Episode. And so after that, I was like, damn, this is nuts. And but ever since then, it's been completely overwhelming. The fans have been incredible. Obviously, everyone's shown so much love, and I really try to respond to as many people as I can. And like I was telling Jess before we hopped on, it's just like, it's hard because I want to connect with fans as much as possible and be genuine, because I would want that reciprocated to me if I reached out, because I never get responses from people I DM. So like, I want to do that, but it's also a full-time job, just responding.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's impossible.
You got to set boundaries for yourself. Otherwise, you're going to be on your phone all damn day.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I've slowly been learning these past 6 weeks. It's like, okay, I need to have a life too, because if I don't, there's no music coming out then, because I'm not in the studio. I'm like in my phone, like, oh, here's Rachel, gotta respond. Like, like,
right.
It's
Have you had a lot of girls sliding in your DMs?
I mean,
face.
there's been
that's a yes.
Yeah. I mean, of course, because listen, this is a double trouble situation. Normally when you have Bachelor Nation, you're like, oh, I'm sliding into this guy or girl's DMs and they were just like this pretty face personality on this show, listen to your heart. It's like, oh, they're also a very talented musician and producer. And so even if this doesn't end well for them reality TV show route, look at this beautiful blossoming career that I could slide into. It's double trouble.
True.
Double trouble.
And I think that's been the best part for me. It's like, you know, most of the people that reach out are they seem genuinely interested in like my music, and they're sharing the music, and like, you know, when are you coming to town to tour? I would love to see you for a show.
Oh, that's cool.
That's like very reassuring to me. You know, it would suck if everyone's just like, oh my God, marry me. Like,
yeah.
If it was all that, I would just be like, okay, like, but it's been very good so far.
Okay, we need to do more snappy questions. Okay, if you got to move anywhere in the world right now for the next 6 months, where would you pick?
If we weren't on lockdown.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the world.
If COVID didn't exist.
And I could like make a living there. Probably somewhere like Southeast Asia, like Thailand or something.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe in the US though, I'd probably move to Asheville, North Carolina. If you guys, it's a very like hippie mountain town.
Yes. Asheville is beautiful.
It's like Boulder, Colorado on steroids in terms of like hippiness and just beauty in the center of these mountains. It's nice.
Do you have a hippie streak in you?
You can say that.
You have a little bit of like a Sheridan.
Yeah. Yeah, what a guy.
When I found out that he was really drinking red wine in the morning, I've never had such an incredible reaction like in my being. I was just like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So please, can you explain the red wine? It's one of my most favorite things.
I had to hit him up after we all saw that and be like, dude, was that real? He's like, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I don't think, because obviously we saw Sheridan a lot, and he's a big coffee guy. I know that just from after the show, he's always brewing and stuff like that. So he was always getting his coffee, but I don't remember seeing him drinking wine until the show. And then I asked him, like, yeah, it was legit. I'm like, oh, that's baller.
Warming up those cords in the morning.
We know what his quarantine's going like. Shout out to Sheridan.
Yeah, I get my plant tips from Sheridan. He's like, he has this just garden in his apartment, just like looks like 100 plants. And I'm like, dude, I can't even keep one alive. Like, you got to help me.
Okay, if you had to get stuck on a desert island with one of the cast members, and it can't be Natascha and it can't be Matt, who are you stuck with?
Rudy.
Why?
Yeah.
That's my homie. Like, we had such a bond. Like, you guys obviously saw her pick me, and it was probably like, oh, what? But we talked a bunch. I would say even more so than myself and Natascha, we have such a similar music connection. So yeah, Rudy's the shit. Like, I'm so glad that people are seeing her for her talent, because she's incredible. And she's like too famous to talk to me now. She's got like 180,000. She's got 100,000 followers over that last. It's crazy.
I think they won in terms of like fan favorite. They kind of won the show. Rudy and Matt did.
I called Rudy. I talked to her yesterday, and I'm just like, yo, like, you won. Like, you killed it. Like, obviously Chris and Bree, I love both of them. It was great. But like, for being kicked off, you couldn't be kicked off in a better way.
Well, and they didn't even get kicked. They technically never got kicked off.
Right.
They just chose to leave, which is baller.
It was baller. I was like, damn, you guys just like took it upon yourselves to do that. I couldn't believe it when I found.
And we were all dying to watch that final performance, and then they were just like, nope, not going to give it to you.
They were so good.
Yeah.
They were so
Yeah,
good.
you and Natascha and Rudy and Matt, we were just like every week just looking forward to the four of you guys within your performances. My goodness.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I remember that first performance because you could hear, people practicing, and I heard Rudy and Matt doing that Shawn Mendes tune, and I'm like, damn, they're gonna crush. And that was my favorite performance from that first night.
Oh,
and
so good.
And yeah, they just kept growing from there, and they're incredible.
They really did. They had such good energy, and they're such great performers.
Mm-hmm. All right, what about Desert Island, but in reverse? like if like who you'd be least like,
oh yeah, still.
if you had to be stuck with someone, who would be the one that you'd be like, no, even if you love them all, you're least likely. Maybe easy route is like you didn't connect with them as much. Wink.
Man, this is gonna get me in some trouble. I mean, it would have to be somebody like from the get-go that didn't have a lot of time. I would say the person that I knew the least was Josh, Mr. Clean.
Okay.
So,
We like barely saw him.
and he was also a country musician, so I don't think there would be any like vibe in there musically. So I don't want to throw him under the bus. Like, good guy, but probably Josh. I don't know.
Okay, what about this with the desert island though? And then we'll move on from the desert island. Most likely to survive and possibly escape off the desert island, least likely to survive.
Most likely to survive, 100% Brandon.
Really? Oh yeah, duh. He's got his whole military background.
Yeah. Least likely to survive. Damn.
This isn't offensive because I would be one of the least likely to survive.
Okay. I don't want to throw her under the bus, but just because of age, I'm going to say Jamie. Least experience.
Okay.
Yeah, that's who I would have called too.
Least life experience. Maybe she doesn't have those skill sets yet.
Yeah.
Survival skill set.
Listen, yeah. I would resonate. I'd be stuck on a desert island and I'd be like, I don't know where to start. Where would I find water?
Yeah.
Jess is totally one of those people who would be on the desert island and would always be like somehow evading death. You know, like the person who is the Brandon, like the Marine, would somehow get like trampled by elephants, and Jess would be like, just like, oh my God, like in the corner. Jess would be the person that would somehow survive. Like you'd trip over a rock and like fall into a water spring and be like, oh, water.
That is true.
Yeah.
I'd turn like, look at this. You'd be like, look at this weird ball I found. People would be like, that's a coconut. And be like, great.
What is this weird ball?
And you'd like turn it, you'd drink it, and then you'd like turn it into your coconut bra.
I'd use some of the coconut meat as like a highlighter.
You'd be like, honestly, I have never been more moisturized. I'm not gonna lie. That's what you would end up being. You wouldn't die. You'd be the one that like just end up thriving. Yeah. Please don't rescue me.
How would you do on a desert island, Ryan?
I mean, I think I would do okay, but you know, I'm a dude from the suburbs. Like, I don't.
Oh, this actually reminded me. What other reality show would you be on if not this one? Because you just made me think of like Naked Afraid. Like, if you got offered to go on Naked and Afraid, would you do it?
I probably wouldn't do that one. Let's be like, that's tough. You're getting
I know.
Like that would be one of the least, I think. Are we counting just things that are on air currently?
No, anything.
If you want to make up a show, pitch it.
Oh no. So I would go.
Oh, you mean a former show?
I would go. I mean, I'm a '90s kid, so like Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Oh, hell yes.
Or like Double Dare, like Guts, like.
Oh wait, Becca, you are looking confused right now.
Yeah. I don't know what this shit is.
Oh, Ryan, wow. Becca is a few years younger than. I mean, I'm the oldest here, but.
Ryan, how old are you? I can't remember.
So I'm 29.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm only 4 years younger. Jeez, what is it?
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Actually, supposedly it's coming back. But yeah, it was a good like. Was it Disney?
Is this like Survivor?
It's like a child Survivor.
Oh, no. I definitely remember this on Nick. Yeah. Okay, this is what I thought it was. Yeah. But when you said it, I was thinking like an adult reality show.
No.
Yeah, no. Is this the one?
The Blue Barracudas.
Yep, I definitely remember this. Yes.
Oh, listen, I rewatched some old Legends of the Hidden Temple episodes maybe about 4 months ago. And I was like, how did I not have insane nightmares after watching this? Because those poor kids...
Walking into his mouth or whatever they did.
Yeah, or then like they'd turn a corner and there'd be like a guy up against the wall. Yeah. Scare the shit out of him.
Like ivy on him and just like, yeah.
The kids are like screaming and they were getting timed. And I'm like, these kids are like 8 and they're traumatizing them.
Yeah.
What was the other one you said?
Like was it Double Dare or like Guts? On another Nickelodeon show.
Double Dare was fun. Guts.
I'm trying to think what else there was.
Guts, is that when they had to climb up that giant mountain thing at the end of it?
That was
the crag.
Aggro crag. Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's it.
I wanted to be on that really bad too.
That was kind of like Wipeout for children. Remember the show Wipeout?
Yes.
Yeah.
Except I don't think they won anything. They maybe won like a Nintendo system.
Yeah, that was big back.
And the glory.
It's true.
All their friends get to see them crush it on the aggro crag.
It's very true.
Sick.
And it changed colors like depending on the seats, and it would be like
foam things are rolling down on them.
yeah.
Yeah. Loved that. Loved that. Okay.
Oh, I have a question. When was your first kiss? I like a first kiss story.
My first like real kiss or like peck on a cheek from a girl.
Now you're sounding like that thing you do. When was the last time you've been kissed?
Oh, gosh.
Really kissed?
Wait, Ryan, is it your new favorite movie or is it your new favorite movie?
I've got to be honest. I literally watched that on. So you guys had the podcast right after the first episode. So I listened to you guys on Monday or Tuesday, watched it Tuesday night, and was like, how have I missed this my entire life?
Did you relate to the experience of Guy? For real though?
I did. I'm like, you guys are spot on in terms of like my suit and the dress and like, yeah. And his demeanor. I was like, it's pretty close. And I got, yeah.
No, I'm looking at you right now and I'm like, I feel like every once in a while, like I'm having a conversation with Guy, especially, especially the fact that Rita Wilson fucking shows up as the last judge. And I was enraged she couldn't see you.
Yeah. And when I was listening to that episode yesterday, I had no idea that was even a thing. I didn't know that was her in the movie. And when you said that, I'm like, God, that would have been nuts.
Yeah. And she
Tom
was
Hanks'
like,
wife.
helped write some of the music. Ugh.
I love it.
Crazy. Well, you also kind of made me think of Guy too, because like your favorite musician Stevie Wonder, and I feel like he in the movie is so into this like funk soul jazz thing, and then also of course Liv Tyler is the babe of all babes in that movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Ugh, what a dreamboat. Okay, anyways, sorry, we interrupted you. First kiss, and I don't mean peck, I mean like proper.
Yeah, first
smooch.
kiss. I think I was like 6th grade. I think it was 6th grade. Yeah, with my like girlfriend.
Oh, you had a girlfriend.
I did. I thought I was so baller because like I remember walking into because we had a I don't know how your guys' elementary school went, but like before the first bell, we would all congregate in the cafeteria before they like let us into the rest of the school.
Oh, right.
So it was winter and we were all in there, and I heard some like talking, like some chatter, and one of my buddies was going out with this girl named Gabby, and she was like the prettiest girl in 6th grade, and like I didn't talk to women at all, like none.
I like that you call them women in 6th grade.
Yeah, girl.
It's very lovely.
No, I like it.
Yeah. So yeah, and I think somebody came up to me. She's like, "Yeah, I think Gabby likes you." I'm like, "Huh? Like, what are you talking
That beautiful 11-year-old woman?"
and she was the best basketball player too, so that was like a thing. And
Oh yeah.
we dated for a few months. It was real. Yeah.
Oh damn. How far into the relationship did you get the first kiss?
Well, we went through like the note passing phase. Like that was pretty hardcore. So
that's intimate.
Oh yeah, and these were like notes. These were like crumpled up so small, but you'd open it up and it was like this full
novel.
It's
yeah,
like roll it out.
Yeah, in pencil, so it was like faded. But maybe like a couple months. I have no idea. It was a long time ago.
I just remember those young relationships. It's always like we've been officially dating for like 6 months, and we finally get that first kiss in, and that's everything.
Yeah, and there was like a clique. So I wasn't in it at all. It was like the popular girls and the popular guys would go over the girls' house, and they'd play like spin the bottle and stuff, and I was just that frightened the hell out of me.
Edgy.
So
yeah,
that wasn't my vibe at all. So it didn't happen there. I think it was just a random hangout at her house. We're like, hey, this is cool. I don't know. It was it was nice.
Wow. I wasn't allowed to go over to boys' houses alone.
I know.
You guys are
we
advanced.
we weren't alone. I mean, the parents were definitely there. We were just like, this is very risque in the way it sounds, but we were downstairs. There was 2 other people. There was 4 people, and we were like laying on the couch, like under the covers, and like looking at each other and like turning away and like looking. And like we just like went for it, I guess. But it was fun.
I miss those moments
I
so
know.
deeply. Speaking of kisses, okay. 2 questions. Number 1, Ryan, are you officially off the market?
Oh yeah, you guys exclusive?
Oh, I wouldn't say we're exclusive. We have a very good relationship going. Like I said, with everything that happened, it was just like, so, one thing after another, we got sent home. We couldn't really see each other after that. So we've just been making the best that we can. We talk all the time. So I wouldn't say we're exclusive, but I wouldn't consider myself like single. I don't know. It's a weird.
Yeah. I definitely get it.
Especially with with COVID and everything. And then
I think it would be more
such
concrete if I could actually be out in LA or she could be here. Like we could actually hang. Like it's.
And figure out where you're at.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. Yep. Get it.
So.
Totally get it.
So my second question would be, if, you guys continue your musical career together and maybe just continue it as friends and partners in music, would you ever consider going on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, excuse me, like this upcoming season?
Ooh.
Oh no, definitely not this upcoming season. I mean, I don't know what the future holds. I can't say never, but like I think I had a good run, and I don't know if I would want to like tarnish it.
Okay, smart.
I totally get that.
Smart.
You're like, I made it out alive, and I don't want to try my luck again.
Yeah, it was such a. I mean, I had such an overwhelmingly like A+ positive experience from all aspects involved, from the crew, like I said, the cast. So that's like a very important time in my life that is just sacred, and I don't know if I would want to go on something different I don't know. At this moment, I would say no, but who knows what the future holds.
Unless they offered you the lead role as The Bachelor.
Yeah, but I don't even know then. Like, I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I have like one more kind of prying question, and then we'll let you off the hook with all these. Celebrity crush, just in general, musician crush, and then your favorite physical attribute.
Oh.
Okay, so favorite physical attribute is eyes. I don't know if that's like a cheap answer, but
yeah, it's boring.
Yeah, it's boring.
You got to give me like, if you want that type of answer, you got to give me like options to choose from.
Okay. But I mean, that's the thing, remember Justin, we asked Harry and he was like, hands.
Yeah, we have a friend
everyone
loves
does have their own
hands.
thing.
I get eyes.
Yeah.
Eyes is a big one to me for sure too.
Yeah. Celebrity crush. I think maybe like, I shouldn't say vintage because she's still so beautiful, but like Angelina.
Oh yeah.
Always been a big fan of her.
A classic.
Musician girl crush. There's a girl who is probably my favorite female vocalist ever. Her name is Rachel Price, and she's in a band called Lake Street Dive. You guys should.
Yes.
They're incredible, and there's just something about her, like, a woman that can sing like that, and she's attractive, and she just seems fun. That would be my musical crush, I think.
I like it. I have a one marry fuck kill for you. Okay. Marry fuck kill. Chris Harrison. Final Rose Band. Jason Mraz.
Wait, what was the second one?
Marry fuck kill. Chris Harrison. The Final Rose Band, which was the band every week that played, or Jason Mraz.
They're called the Final Rose Band?
Yeah, Chris Harrison dubbed it like that.
That is so funny. I somehow didn't catch that.
Before I answer that, the people in that band, like if you look up their resume, is incredible.
Just
like,
crazy.
These people were Beyonce with Jason Mraz, with like a lot of people. So
wow,
incredible to work with. I would say I would want to keep them around. So I think I'd marry them, the whole band. Very
Good choice.
polygamy type situation.
Yes.
So Chris Harrison and Jason?
Yeah, so fuck, kill Chris Harrison, Jason Mraz.
I'm gonna.
And you have to explain.
I'll kill Jason.
Okay.
And we'll get it on with Chris.
All
no
right.
explanation needed.
No explanation needed at all.
That was not a Jason Mraz dig at all. I think I made it clear, like, that was totally valid. If I saw our performance, I'd be like, yo, Natascha, like anybody that you put next to her is just gonna look like nothing, so I get that where he was coming from. And so it was just honestly, I grew up listening to his music a lot, and like, so I was like, oh cool, Jason Mraz. And then he's like, oh, you suck. Like, oh, cool.
You're like, thank you, sir.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I love it. It's a great answer.
Well, I'm so excited because we have another little surprise guest popping in.
I can't believe it. We're talking about being able to finally have some ABC royalty on. And not only do we get Ryan today, Ryan has surprised us by giving us the goddess herself. And we have Natascha here.
Woo!
Hi.
The happiest to see all three of you on one screen. You have no idea.
Oh,
well,
I feel like I've known you forever because I literally watch everything you guys do. And I'm like, yes, girl. Yes, girl. Like every time we say something, I'm like, yes. That's exactly right.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you
so
missed
happy.
our tea talk for like the past hour, but we were really getting into, I mean, I have a feeling that I have a feeling you're going to spill maybe a little bit more tea than Ryan. No shade to you, Ryan. But
I taught him well. He knows all the tips.
I love it. I love it. So how have you been post this? How are you doing?
Good. Right when I got off is when I had like a breakdown. Like I didn't sleep for 3 weeks after that performance because I was just hating myself. I was like, how did that happen? Like I didn't even know what had gone wrong in the moment. So yeah, I was beating myself up for a while, and it took me a little bit to just like kind of be like, you know what, I gotta accept it. I gotta move on. Like it just happens. It just, the fact that I didn't know how it happened or why it happened is what pisses me off the most. But I'm okay.
it is what it is.
It's what it is.
Shit
And it's
happens.
like, there's nothing that we could have done differently. I'm just happy that we tried to make it different and we tried to make it special. Cause I mean, I think I don't know what Ryan said earlier, but like our thought was we've heard this song so many times and it's just like a classic. And even though it's my favorite song, one of my favorite songs of all time, it was just like, let's make it fun. Let's give them a surprise. Let's give them a show. Let's make it different. Let's make it exciting. Cause it's like, yeah, we could sing that song all day the way it is. Cause kind of feels karaoke-ish. We didn't want it to be that way, we wanted it to be a little bit our style, but it just, pulling off something like that with the prep time we had probably wasn't the best idea. And I think for me, I just got confused because I'm so used to singing it as we hear it, and so I just was like, crap, what section am I on? So it was one of those moments, but I'm feeling good outside of that. I'm happy with, I'm happy with being able to stay in touch with Ryan and, have fun with all that's fun we've been having over the past few weeks as much as we can through, FaceTime. And I don't know what he said yet. So I don't know what I'm allowed to divulge or not.
I mean, honestly, you can divulge anything because even if he hasn't said it, then, you would just spill it. It's fine.
Well, I'm curious too. I want to hear also how you got on the show, because Ryan kind of told us it's sort of funny. You got like an Instagram comment from a producer. How'd you end up on there?
Yeah, I got it was from a casting director. I got a DM from a casting director literally like that day, and I had
same thing.
Yeah, it just kind of, it was such perfect timing. I had accepted that I was like, my last relationship, I was like, it's finished, it's over, I have nothing to go back there. Like had been like an on and off thing for a while, and I was like, God, I just felt like crap, and I wanted something to like get me to move on from this. And it was like a sign, like I had asked the universe, like, help me move on from just this torture that I was sort of feeling and going through at the time. And I get this this message on Instagram, and they're like, hey, are you single and are you interested in doing like a kind of a dating show with music involved? And I'm like, yes, I am. Like, how much fun would that be? And so he was like, great, let's get on a Skype call to, chat with you. And then I think he got on a phone call with me to like discuss the Skype call, and we had a quick combo, and he's like, you know what, forget the Skype call. We want you to come straight into the office. Can you be here tomorrow, 1:00? And I was like, tomorrow, 1:00 works for me. And literally that was the only time I met with the producers, and it was like everybody in one room, and they asked me to tell them a story about an experience that I had. And I sang for a little bit, and then I got the phone call a couple weeks later being like, we want you part of the cast. So it happened really quick.
So cool.
I know Ryan went through the ringer.
She didn't need to do that, obviously. Like, they put me into it.
She got the quick in.
Maybe they were just like, we need someone that's for Ryan. Maybe that's what it was.
So Ryan was saying that one of the things that is the most attractive thing to him about you, which agreed on this end, is just how incredibly confident you are. Going into the show, and especially not going in like first day, coming in with the some of the info that you had. How was that? Were you nervous, or were you like, no, I'm coming in? Because you seem like you were like, I'm good. I'm coming in guns blazing. Let's do this thing. But were you nervous?
I think they projected it as this, like, here she comes. Like, Ryan and I were always teasing each other about, like, what's the music going to be when she walks in? Like, dun, dun, dun. Like, it's going to be the whole music. He was dying laughing, figuring out, like, what it was, because I felt at the time that it might have been I think they were trying to set me up with or set me up on. So I was like, okay, God, well, I don't know what the hell they're trying to do or what the hell's going on. Because I was ready to go into the house with everyone else that day, and they were like, Tosh, you're going to be coming in a couple days late. And I was like,
oh my God,
please don't do, like, what is happening? And they're like, don't worry, it's going to be okay. And,
and you're also probably just stuck in a hotel room with no phone, like twiddling your thumbs.
Exactly. And I'm just nervous as hell. And I'm like, oh God. And here, I don't know who's in the house. I have no idea about anything, And so I was nervous. Yeah. And I want to, put on a good impression and say hi to everyone. I wanted to make friends with people because I'm like, I'm going to be living in this house. Like, and it just did not exactly turn out the way I had imagined in my head on the first day getting there, because the girls were quick to be like, you know, and so it was hard for me, for sure, because that's what my intention, obviously.
Did that last through the rest of the season, that kind of dynamic with the girls?
It's hard to say because, for me, I'm the kind of girl that Ryan's smirking. I try and give my best kind of like up front to a girl because I want them to be like, this is me. I'm trying to be, I want to be girlfriends. I want to do my best, but I'm not going to be the kind of girl that's going to beg for you to be my girlfriend. Sure. I very much was like, I'm trying to help you out. I expressed myself the way I could in the nicest way for the situation of just meeting everyone, but they had already formed their clique. So it was literally almost impossible for me to kind of come in there and be like, I want to be friends with them. And they're like, I don't know. And it's like, okay, I'm going to try, but if you do something that's going to upset me or make me feel like you don't want to try as well, I'm moving on. Right. And it was kind of that vibe. I don't know if you guys saw the deleted scene, but it was very much.
We did.
We saw it.
About it for a minute, but that was the vibe that I got after of being like, hey, I'm here to talk to you. I want you to know that, like, I'm on your team. We're all on the same team here. Like, this isn't me against you. I'm here to I have no reason to not be your friend, And so it was when that had happened and I had sensed the energy, I was like, okay, I don't need to be putting my energy into winning over these girls when I'm really here to find someone to connect with,
So were you happy when they released that deleted scene? Did that make you feel?
I was so nervous about it because,
and I wonder why they did. Why did they release it but not put it on the actual episode?
I don't know. It's just they had their storyline. They know what they wanted to show and how they wanted things to be, and the thing is there was no drama post that, really. So it wasn't probably something to lead up to and then see like, oh, things have changed and now everyone's best friends. Like, that really wasn't. I was like, look, I'm nothing against any of you girls. And they were like, well, I'm like, okay. What am I supposed to do about that? It's like, all right. And I think I tried little bits here and there throughout the season. And, especially with Julia, I tried my best during, like, we had little makeup time in the morning, and she was like, oh, I have this, I burned myself. I was like, oh honey, use my concealer, like I have this really good one that's good for like scarring and burning. She's like, oh my god, thank you so much. And I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere, like I'm trying to. And then
yeah. Who was your best friend in the house?
Well, besides Rye,
yes.
I think it was girl-wise Bree and I were really tight and close. And she's just an angel. I call her my Disney princess. She's an angel. She was the first girl who really came up to me and was like, hi, how are you? I want to get to know you. And I was like, thank you. Like, that's so nice of you. Like, it was just, I was very much the black sheep outsider. And it was hard for me to, I mean, even Ryan was like, I don't know if I want to talk to her. I was like, great. I terrified all the guys. The girls are like, I was just one of those, like, Jesus.
Okay, so then I have to ask, if you had to be on another reality TV show, which would it be? And would it be Real Housewives? Because that's what we want the answer to be.
Housewife first, I think. So, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. Reality TV is tricky. It's tricky. And it's not something where I'm just like, yeah, I can't wait to be on reality. That's not it, for sure. Like, my focus has always been music from the beginning. I went to music school and I've always been focusing on that throughout my life. And I think this was just a way for me to really feel like fulfilled in a way. Obviously, love is something that's super important to me and that I miss in my life up until now. I'm 33 and I want something real. And I figured, maybe this is a chance for me to find someone who is also looking for something real. And, being in music, it means that these people are maybe more emotionally available. They're maybe emotionally aware. They can communicate differently in ways that I can understand. Love languages might be the same. Like, I was thinking about all these things. I think if it was a reality show just to be a reality show, I
told them that. I'm like,
I don't really see that as a point in my life.
Right,
like, what's the point of that? It's I don't know.
Well, the world has now heard your voice, and I mean, what's that been like? Because my God, I remember the first time that you guys started singing, Becca and I were just like, whoa, what just happened? Like, shot out of a cannon, incredible voice. Has that just been like day and night for you?
Also, what has the attention been like negative attention too on the internet?
Luckily, I haven't seen a lot of negative attention. That most of the people that I think that connect with me are the girls that are like super attracted to the independence, the confidence, the fact that kind of I say it how it is. And like, those are my people, I feel.
That's
like
cool.
I have girls that I think that are maybe intimidated by the situation. I don't know if that's my tribe, and I feel like the girls that have really reached out to me are like 100% understanding who I am and what I'm about. And, I want to bring music is to inspire people and to bring positivity, to make them feel a certain way, to make them feel sexy or girly or empowered, or, it's a mood. And that's just what I want to do with my music. So if you can understand that much of what I do, then it's a win,
I have to ask, with the Julia Brandon situation, was that an intentional bring up later in that moment because of the drama? Or was that like, hey, we're caught up rehearsing and, I didn't feel comfortable bringing it up to you because we're not like besties. Like, why did you bring it up right before the performance?
Okay.
Yeah, and blink twice if production made you wait.
So it basically, so if you guys see in the clip, like we're not hair and makeup ready. Like I was like very much, I stress a lot before performances, and Ryan can comment on that. Like I freak out. And even though like I've done it a million times, it's like right before when I'm like not okay. And I need to focus. And I went over things with Ryan like 1,000 times. Like I wasn't hair and makeup ready. So it's like, obviously the things on my mind are not to involve myself in anything that does not relate to our performance, which was obviously my priority. So it was really hard, for me to say it in that moment. And that's kind of why I was stressing. I don't know if you could tell during that time, but I was really like, oh God, this is about to happen. And I tried to say it as as carefully as I could by picking my words, by being like, Julia, this is hard for me to say. I didn't know if this was something that I should at the moment, at the time, like, but she, you know, in that conversation, she was going on and on about like, we made a decision together. We chose this together. We both made this, like, and I had asked her, I was like, so you both planned it. You're like, I'm going to go back home and we're going to break up with our respective partners. And we're going to, she's like, yes, we made that decision. That's what's happening. And that's when I was like, oh, I can't let this girl go on really thinking that, you know? Yeah. And that's when I was like,
that conversation was happening right there before you broke the news. Yes.
Yeah.
Like
we were all sitting together and she was kind of talking about, you know, her and Brandon, and, you know, I wasn't like asking anything. It was more, she was just like, we're like, everything is just so
serendipitous.
Yeah, like we made this decision together. We're choosing each other. We planned it together. And I was like, so you planned it. Like, this is what the plan was. And she was like, yes. I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe there's something that you need to know. And it was hard. It was hard for me to say it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that makes sense then.
I mean, and it's crazy watching it back because it's understandable why Julia thought that too. I mean, it was absurd to watch everything play out. I can't
blame her for feeling the way it did, but you know, obviously it was.
Oh, I meant with Brandon. Like, it was crazy how it looked like he was planning on breaking it.
I mean, it's hard because, you know, I liked Brandon. He was a good friend to everyone, and I don't like him saying that to me. I felt like was him just being a good friend to me, being like, this is the truth. You know, I'm just being a good friend. I'm telling you the truth without realizing the repercussions of actually telling me the truth in that moment, you know,
or on camera.
Like, he was just a little maybe unaware of the situation we were in. And, you know, when we started that conversation, Julia wasn't in the room. So it wasn't like it was all happening. Like, she had come in right at the answer to that question. And then that's how I was like, we're in the middle of a conversation kind of thing. Yeah. Which is why the earmuffs moment happened. But, you know, it was just crazy how it all happened. And then I'm sitting there with Ryan and I'm like, did that just happen?
Did you just do it in front of her?
Yeah.
Well, when you explain the context of it, of how you broke it to her, like how she was talking about her and Brandon before, I mean, when we were watching the show, it very much seemed like you kind of like took her aside and sat her down, you know, and was like, I've been waiting to tell you this
right
kind
before
of thing.
The performance.
But it makes so much more sense if it's in the context of like her going on and on about this, and you're like, look, this is not what you think it is.
Right before the performance, obviously, like I said, I was not ready. I wasn't like, we were like back, like in the wings of the stage, like, guess what? Like, that's not at all.
It's like hours and hours before the performance.
These were hours and hours and hours. And it was like, had the conversation not happened, that she was talking about it with all the girls in that room, you know, I would have been busy getting myself ready, because that was my priority, is putting on a good show and not making sure I don't screw up. Like, I was messing up lyrics for that show, and Brian was like, you got this. We were going through things. Like, I was stressing for that performance. And she was just like, this is what happened. This is how it goes. And I was like, remember that moment, you know, in the kitchen? She's like, yeah. And for her getting so mad at me at that point, and then, you know, she had said something afterwards that I was just like, I mean, it wasn't on camera. And so I was just, at that point is when I was like, we're done here.
Yeah. All right, you gorgeous, vivacious, powerful, fantastic broad. We have to pause one more time. Listen, we're all doing our part to avoid crowds. However, we can right now, and that has forced me to make daily distinctions between wants and needs. But what if you need to go to the post office? I'm sure it's a need because no one wants to go to the post office. It's wildly inconvenient most of the time. I think we can all agree. But if you use stamps.com, you know getting things mailed doesn't have to be inconvenient at all. We love stamps.com. Both Becca and I use it constantly. Stamps.com brings all the services of the U.S. Postal Service right to your computer in the safety and comfort of your own home. With Stamps.com, you can print postage on demand. Simply use your computer to print out official U.S. postage 24/7 for any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send. Plus, you can actually save some money with discounts you can't even get at the post office. And with Stamps.com, you get 5 cents off every first-class stamp and up to 62% off shipping rates. It's really a no-brainer, especially now, saving you time and money and keeping you safe. As if that wasn't enough, Stamps.com also offers those UPS services now with those discount rates up to 62% and no UPS residential surcharges, broads. You heard me correctly. It's going to save you a lot of money. Right now, our listeners get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale without any long-term commitment. Just go to stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in chatty. That's stamps.com and enter chatty. All right, broads, and one more thing. A lot of you message and ask for some podcast recommendations. Well, here is one. It's Be Here for a While. Be Here for a While, hosted by comedian Rachel O'Brien, is like hanging out with one of your really good friends, the type of friend that cares about you, gives you really good advice while sometimes revealing what you shouldn't do based on her own life experience, and makes you laugh right when you need it. Rachel is a world headlining stand-up comedian, TV and film writer, and podcast host. Her experience of touring around the world and living and working in Los Angeles and striving to make her career dreams come true has equaled a motley crew of friends and experiences that are shown throughout her variety of guests on the show. Be Here for a While is a real and raw podcast that inspires you by getting to know people to their core, whether they're actors, comedians, writers, or just someone that has turned their life around. This podcast goes in deep by finding out where the person came from and getting to know their story before revealing their successes of life-changing events. Guests have included Wendy McLendon Covey of Bridesmaids and the Goldbergs. Oh my God, she's hilarious. Rock star Bryan Adams, comedians Jim Jeffries, Heather McDonald, Kevin Fairley, reality TV personalities from many Bravo shows, and stories of recovery from Alexis Nears Haynes of Pretty Wild and The Bling Ring. Be Here for a While is about living the best version of yourself and learning and growing with Rachel and her guests because, hey, we're all striving to be better, right, broads? Listen to Be Here for a While on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you are listening now. Let's get back into it.
Oof. Well, going off of that question, we asked Ryan the same thing. I want to know if you had to be the person you would most want to be trapped on a desert island with from the cast and the person you would least likely want to be trapped with. That doesn't include Ryan.
Or Brie.
This is a good one.
Or Brie. You can't be trapped with Ryan or Brie.
Now I want to know who he chose. Okay. I definitely would not want to be trapped with Julia. That's for sure. And then who I would be okay being trapped with, not Brie.
I know who.
I think Chris or Matt. I think like dude wise, because they're just so cool. They're just such cool, chill dudes. Is that who you were thinking, right?
No, I was gonna say Ruby.
Oh, Ruby. Yeah. If I had to choose one of the girls, it's that no one really knows how amazing she was because she had like 10 but
I talked about like how dope she is.
I'm madly in love with Ruby. When she came on, I was like, hallelujah. Like I was singing like
oh no. And then like 5 seconds later, she's gone.
She's gone.
Like, I couldn't even say goodbye to her when she left. It was brutal. I was like, Ryan, why?
Oh no.
Yeah, we would have been full besties. It would have been a whole thing.
Who do you think I chose?
Yeah.
I couldn't choose Matt or you.
No, I'm kidding. I would never talk to you again. So you couldn't choose Matt or Rudy, you said?
I couldn't choose Matt or you.
Oh, probably Rudy, because you guys had fun together. And
probably who?
Huh?
Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy. Probably Rudy.
1 for 1. Yep.
Because she's so fun. I mean, I would say Rudy too, because obviously you didn't get to see like our involvement of our friendship on the show. Because in the beginning, obviously she was really defending Jamie.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that deleted scene too.
Yeah, Jamie really needed to kind of have that clicky, like we're on team you. And then as the time went by, obviously I had nothing against any of them. So Rudy was like, I kind of like Natascha. And I'm like, well, I kind of like you, Rudy. And she's like, okay. And we sort of started developing this really tight, bond and this respect for each other. And like every time she'd sing, I was like in the back being like, yes, go Rudy. Like it was, she was kind of the same for me. And I wish they had shown those moments, instead of people with their cranky faces. But we fell in love as the show progressed, her and I. And she was the first person I saw when I got off the show. Like we got off the show and she's like, we need to see each other. I was like, done.
Oh, that's
we had
cool.
brunch,
So
we chatted,
nice.
we talk all the time. I think I talked to her almost as much as I talked to Ryan. She's just the sweetest thing. So yeah, now that I think of it, maybe I'd want to be stuck with Rudy. We'd have so much fun. She's just like a girl's girl. Like I love her. So that could be it. All right. And who's the other person you chose, Rye? So Rudy and
Least likely.
least likely. shit. Thing is,
I don't
Ryan
know if you'll get
gets along
this.
with everyone.
I don't think you'll get. I know you won't get this.
I mean, he even hugged Julia at the end when she went home. Remember that? It was like a long hug, and
Natasha's just like, excuse me.
She gave me so much shit for that. I was like,
she just said the nastiest things to me. Why are you giving her the longest hug goodbye?
You fake ass hoe.
So not about it. If he said nasty shit to my Ryan, I'd be like, don't talk to me. That's just the kind of girl I am, you know?
Girl, the amount of fights that my husband and I get into because of that, it's always, I'm like, you're too nice to everybody, even my mortal enemies.
Yeah, it's like, that's not
how dare you
here. Hello.
No, Ryan's answer was kind of a cop-out because he was like, oh, the person I knew the least on the show is who he picked.
Of course, just because he wants to get to know everyone properly. Who did you know the least?
I said Josh.
Josh. Oh, yeah. I can talk about Josh sometimes.
But you don't even
I never
know
met
Josh.
him. I never met.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been so fun had I been there day one.
Oh,
what? I know. What a travesty for you.
I know, but it did bring the drama. It did bring the drama.
No, I guess they had a plan.
How was the relationship with Jamie and Trevor after everything? After like that initial first episode with you?
They were like glue, you know. It was kind of like it was kind of funny.
Yeah. But like with your dynamic with them, was it just like
was it awkward?
I really tried my best to pretend like it wasn't a situation, you know, like, because it wasn't really a situation, you know. I got there, I said what I had to say, defending my girlfriend who I care for and who didn't deserve the way she was treated by him. If he chooses to be a better person moving forward, all power to you. Please be that person. I hope you are for Jamie, you know. I have nothing against either of them. I just hope that people can realize, you know, maybe things they are proud of and then move on from it. Like, I'm sure we all have things we're not proud of that we're trying to be better from. But my issue was like, is he actually going to be better? Like, is it going to be a thing, or is this just a way for him to be like, what are you talking about? And it's like, we all know it was not emotional cheating. Like, hello, you know what I mean? So for him to say it was emotional cheating and then pretend like everything's okay now, it's like, oh sure. It's not my relationship, but we all know it was not just emotional cheating, guys. Yeah, let's be real about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wait, what? I feel like I'm in the dark about this. So it wasn't just emotional cheating.
No.
Talk about.
No. I mean, it's been like, it's like a whatever. It's not my relationship, so it's not for me to say like what he can do and what she can do. It's like, do what you guys want to do. I'm just giving you the facts of what I know and what he has done to my friend that I care for. And then after that, like, please, you know, do I think they're going to be madly in love and be together forever? No, but that's for them to figure out. And if they are, if it's true love, like, I mean, I even told Jamie this on camera, I think. I was like, if it's true love, who am I to get in the way of that? I don't want to. I hope you guys find true love. I hope you guys can be happy. And they seems to be great together. And after that, I was like, so not concerned about anything. I was like, I'm concerned about Ryan, concerned about our relationship growing and getting to him to open up and talk more about his feelings, you know, like that was, and every day it was progressing, you know, so I felt hope there, and I felt like, okay, this is the right direction, because every day it was like we were closer and closer, and the communication was better, and everything was just, it just felt, I think our best, the way we felt about each other, the best and strongest was in Vegas, obviously, because it just got better and better.
Okay, well, before we do the exciting news that you and Ryan have, two things. What was it about Ryan that initially drew you to him? And then what's your favorite thing now about Ryan?
Cute.
So the thing that initially drew me, so I like the guy that's a little more reserved. I don't like the cocky, like, I know I'm hot kind of guy. I think that's such a turn off. Like, I like the guy who's like the strong, silent type. Just, I feel like it balances me a bit more. I don't think I'd be able to, I don't know. I like that about him. And initially, maybe it was maybe a bit of like the chase as well, because he like wasn't kind of coming for me as much. And then I was like, okay, I need to get to know him. And then when we finally did talk, he was so sweet and so just, he was a great listener. He was just someone who was interested in getting to know you. Like, it wasn't, I didn't feel like he was like, sup, what's going on? Like he didn't give me that vibe, and I really appreciated that, and I liked it, and it just made me want to like kiss him.
Oh.
You know?
Aw.
And you guys did quite passionately.
Don't remind me.
Why did you segue like that? You should have never said kiss him. God.
I should not have said it. I'm sorry.
Listen, I don't, having someone film me kiss someone is one of my biggest nightmares, and probably the biggest thing that would deter me from reality TV, because I'm like, just have a camera right here.
It wasn't just that. There were 10 cameras. Like I had never had so many cameras on me the whole season, unless it was that moment. And it was so, because it was our first like thing, and it was just the most. And we have, you know, the producers like looking at us while everything's happening. They're like, hey. I'm like, it was just all of the things at once. It was amazing.
Weird how fast it becomes normal though, right? It's like before you know it, you're just like, I don't know. That's how I felt, at least. They would call it moving furniture. Yeah, that's what they call the camera people, and it very quick, like within 2 days. That, at least for me, that's how it felt like, and it's like I forgot they were there. Yeah, the rest of the time. So weird.
You don't notice the camera that is literally like under your face as you're making out.
No, like, angle. Is this really the angle you guys want right now?
No, it became like scarily unconscious to the point where you're saying shit and doing shit sometimes, like disconnected from the fact that millions of people are gonna see it. It's so weird.
No, it was just, and you know, the thing is you guys didn't get to see all the time that Ryan and I did have before that moment, obviously, because it wasn't like the first day I got there. It had been already 3 or 4 days. So,
I don't know why I definitely felt like that too. I felt like it was like the first time you guys were really interacting.
No, and that's the crazy thing, because everyone's like, she came in and like took him. It's like, no, I'm talking. Like, I'm not a crazy person. Like, you know, and we had moments and we had moments by the fireplace, and we had, you know, by the kitchen, and he was really sweet. He helped me like pour my
salsa dance, right?
Huh?
Did we like salsa dance by the?
We salsa danced. We had like all these really cute moments. He was like, yeah, I'm a great dancer. And I was like, oh, teach me how to salsa dance.
I don't think I said that.
I'm a really good dancer.
Yeah. I cut a run.
I mean, he's on top of it, but you know, I was like, okay, show me what you got. And he was teaching me, and I was like, that's cute, but that's not how you salsa dance. So I was showing him how to do it.
No, let me show you.
Yeah, it was, you know, we had all these really sweet, cute moments, and that, you know, they just cut to the good stuff.
Of course. All right, well, what's your favorite thing about Ryan now?
My favorite thing about Ryan is that there are a lot of favorite things, to be honest. I think we had a long conversation last night about all our favorite things about each other. But I think my favorite thing about him is how it's hard to describe it. I'm trying to compare it to things that I never had. Like Ryan possesses a lot of things that I've never had with other relationships, and a lot of it is just really, he's very much like a partner, like a team player, you know? And if I need something, he's there to help me with that. And, you know, he'll talk me through things. He'll talk through things with me, and he's available, to do that with. He's never like, oh, I don't want to deal with it. Like, no, most guys, if they just want to, you know, if we're talking about something, they're like, oh, talk about it later. He's there always to be like, what is it that you need, or what do you need to get off your chest, or what do you need to hear? And I love that about him. Like he's always down. He's always down, you know. That's so important for me to be like, hey, I'm here. I'm listening. Let's be, you know, we're a team. That's important to me, and I appreciate that about him.
Well, I think that it was very obvious to everyone watching that not only were you guys just killed it, even when you thought that you blew it, it was still. You guys are just still both so incredible that it was just, you guys were so amazing to watch. But another thing I think was always like, you guys always seemed like a team, and it felt like a partnership, which was always so cool to see. And speaking of music killing it, can you give us the big news?
Oh my goodness. Ryan and I made a baby. And she's
pregnant with music.
We created a child. And our child is being delivered to the world. We are praying to the dear Lords this Friday.
Woohoo!
Friday is our day. that we're releasing our first single together. It's really, really exciting.
That's so exciting.
So exciting because, like, you know, we had been talking about this for a while, and we were trying to figure out a way to really blend both of our styles, because I had been doing progressive house music for years and years, and kind of going from there to like Latin pop and then to like dance pop. And I was like, okay, now where I'm at is more of like a Latin dance funk type of music that I'm doing as solo stuff. And I'm like, how can we mix that with Ryan's you know, like
cool
pop funk stuff? And I think this song is the perfect blend of the two of us, and it really represents I think how we're feeling as well about each other. And it's,
you have me psyched. This is a good lead in, and I think we're gonna play a clip right after this. And
yes, we're gonna wrap the
time.
episode with a clip. And I was just telling Becca earlier, I heard the clip and I am so excited to hear the whole song, because it's like so sexy and fun and like dancey but hot, and it's just the perfect. It's exactly what I wanted from both of you, and I'm so excited.
You guys are the first people to ever hear it outside.
Oh my gosh.
Broads, are you not honored? So we're gonna wrap.
Literally, no one has heard this. Not even my parents. They're like, "Can you hear it?" I was like, "No, you cannot hear it until."
Oh my God.
It's
None
ready.
of my friends, nobody.
Oh my God, we're your new mom and dad.
Yes.
Sign me up.
Well, we're gonna wrap the show, Broads, where instead of our typical outro music, you are going to hear their new single, Bad For You, coming out Friday. And other than that, where can the Broads find both of you and your info and new music or current music that's out? Give us all that and we'll put it in the episode notes as well.
Cool. For me, you can find me on Instagram at Natascha BESSEZ, and I think everything across the board is at Natascha BESSEZ. My YouTube, my Facebook, my you know, my Spotify, my iTunes, it's all at Natascha BESSEZ. And so that's where you'll be finding all the new fun stuff.
Cool.
Amazing.
And all my stuff is, you know, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter is Ryan Neal _music, and then RyanNealmusic.com.
Perfect.
Great.
Well, we love you both
so much for
We're
coming on, taking
so happy, so happy that we could talk to both of you.
I've been wanting to do this for the longest time, and you girls are just amazing. And I love all the things you stand for. And I love the fact that you're open and honest with everything you say and feel. It just makes me happy that there are women like you guys that are just saying it how it is. And, you know, I appreciate just really, like, even your last episode about, you know, social situations and things that we need to uphold ourselves, and how other women should understand each other in ways like that. Just makes me happy that there are women talking about it, and that's important, and I'm grateful for you guys, so thank you for
We're grateful for you.
We are grateful.
You made the season for us.
Yes,
we loved it.
You both really did, and all the Broads are obsessed with both of you, and we're so grateful that you guys were our first 2 ABC approved guests. This is so exciting. We will forever remember it. We love you both. And Broads, without further ado, Ryan and Natascha's a clip of their new single, Bad For You.
Chat soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.